it's Midi. Welcome back. Today we are going to create FastAPI integration with ChatGPT 4, and we want to create some simple grammar checker or correction app that we will use ChatGPT AI API and connect it to our FastAPI. And for our FastAPI, I use template that should be more maybe usable and user friendly to check and to type and correct any text that we typing. And it's interesting. We will learn how we can and about which condition or about which packet for ChatGPT we can decision and which one should be better for you and your project, and how much costing and how we can create this fast API connection between ChatGPT and FastAPI. As you can see, I have just simple box that type your text here. I try to write something false or how are you today, for example, and correct grammar. Now as you can see that understand original text is the HWR you today and how are you today. Okay, and for this project all that we need a main, or you can name it as you want. You can name it main, app, or anything else. And you have some required file that should be your dependency. Most of this file is installed automatically from FastAPI. What you need, for example, UV core to run your project, and another things is about OpenAI. I think should be here, as you can see, OpenAI dependency. And another things, we have a static file to save our background and template for our index.html. As you can see, I have just simple CSS style. I use Bootstrap and just simple box to create it. Now we can create this project from start, and I will show you how we can use any or ChatGPT API. Now let's just start. I just want to create new project and I name it, for example, let me from here, I name it, for example, fast API, or sorry, FastAPI ChatGPT. Okay, ChatGPT grammar checker or something else. It's not important. Depend to you which name you want to choose. And now let me to create it and just open. I put it there, and now we can start from start. And as you can see, I don't need it anymore. Now just from the start, all that we need at the first, we need our environment. To create environment, if you use MacBook, try to type Python 3 and -mbenv. I give it the same name. It's depend to you which name you want to choose. Now the next step is to active our environment. I type source virtual environment being inactive. Okay, great. Now the next step is to install some dependency. For example, use pip install FastAPI or open, or I can just one-to-one that you can see. And the next things is to install UV core to run our project. UV core already certification requirement. UV core that should be installed as well. And what we need else? We need to install OpenAI. I just want to type OpenAI. Okay, great. Now we have everything that we need. Now let's start just from here. I create a new file. I name it main.py. All that we need to from here, from FastAPI, import FastAPI, of course. We want to call HTML or our web page index page, and we will use template to run or call our request, HTML response request that I want to use from FastAPI dot response should be import. We want to HTML call HTML response. And another thing is too important. We want to use any template. If you want to use FastAPI as a template, as a HTML, or you want to have a response as a HTML, you need to use template. We're going to use Ginger 2 template, and just from FastAPI dot template thing import just easy Ginger 2 template. And another things from FastAPI dot statics file, import the static. As you can see, we need a static file for our CSS, JavaScript, image, or anything else. If I static, you're allowed to choose any name that you want, and just for JS or for CSS, depends on your project and which project you have, or for example image, or I don't know what you have, anything else, fonts or something there. Just you can organize your static files. Okay, now let's continue. Now the next step, at the first we need to create the instance from FastAPI. To do that, just we can say app FastAPI that we have added from here. Now app is a new instance from FastAPI class. As you can see, this class from FastAPI, and we can now just simple, we can say out of first. Okay, let me to close that. And before we continue, let me to open this website, and let me not here. Okay. You need to go to OpenAI, or you can write it OpenAI documentation docs. You can open it from here as well, and from dashboard. As you can see, at the first, I don't have any limited FastAPI because it's shut down, and you have, I think, about 180 token for free, and then you need to buy it if you have a project or you want to make a project. As you can see, what's important to do before at all, and I will show you from Okay, from Billy. Yes, right here you can see pricing, and that help you to decision for correct model. If for example you can charge your fast API for $10 or I don't know for $100, and depend to your request and response, this input and output. For example, if you want to use ChatGPT for all, and for 1 million token you need to pay €5, and output the result for 1 million token should be about 50, and 50 plus 5 is about 20. But as I have said, it depends to your project and what you want to do. If you need a text, of course you can choose some cheaper, for example ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo, that you need to say just 50 cents for 1 million token, and or about 150 for output 1 million token. And you have allowed to choose another decision, another packet. As you can see, there are more different models: fine-tuning model, ChatGPT 3 model, and ChatGPT 4. And if you want to integrate have an image, for example model, for model you can decision, as you can see, for resolution 1024 1024 you need to pay. This is the price if you have used DL3. And if you have a HD quality or HD2, and you need to pay, of course, cheaper. And that means in our project is important that we decision for right model, because we need copy paste write this model name in our project. And about Audi as well, try and see which Audi quality or version you want to use. And another models, as you can see, there are more other models, and it depends to your project and what you want, and you can decision to choose right model for your project. Actually, for this chat or for this grammar checker, I just want to use ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo, because we need to pay for 1 million token just 50 cent input. Yeah, that should be our request, and that should be response for this token. And if I come back, that was the pricing, usage limited, and as you can see there are more another rate limited, how many requests you are allowed to create it. And it's again, you can see for any model token limit and request and other limit, and you need to know, as you can see, request per month, request per day. And it's too important that you decision for correct model, because you will work just with this model and should be run your project. And as I said, sometimes you need some correct decision if you, because that should be show error if your limited should be hour. Okay, now again let's to continue as and after, and how you can buy it actually from billing. As you can see, I have just $10 for example. Add this credit balance and you can pay the money. You need to define payment method and then continue and buy it. As you can see, is that should be your balance, your bank balance, and should not be over on that the money should there. All that you need to choose right model and start, and you pay per API request, or actually just for per token. And as we have seen, for any token we need to pay, or you need to pay. For example, if I come back here from pricing, as you can see, we have said if that, for example, here for ChatGPT 3.5 we need pay 50 cents for 1 million token input. Okay, now let's continue. The next step, I want to from OpenAI, I just want to import OpenAI, and now I just want actually the same way create an instance from FastAPI. I want to create the instance from OpenAI. I name it, for example, client as docs, and from here OpenAI. Okay, now as you can see we have more parameter, or that we can choose. If I open it, we can define chat, file, image, audio, or file tuning models, or anything else. At this time we need API key. I want to client option, as you can see, open key, API key, done. And we need to paste these open API key, and to do that we need to create an API. And if I go to my dashboard, API keys, as you can see, I have already created key. Just from here, right, create new secret key, choose a name, just test, for example, project, and you can define a precision or read only or anything else. Just create a secret key. As you can see, we get this secret key, and the next step, copy this down. And if you need more information, you can use this doc, because from doc you have access, for example, ChatGPT for example, what we need to do, text to speech or speech to text. You'll be able to see some example actually that you can use for your project. And I will paste this API key. Okay, now we have two instances from two class. And the next step, I just want to create my template directory for our HTML file. I name it templates, and inside the templates need an index.html. Wait. Now for start, I can paste that. Okay. For example, grammar check. Okay. Now let's continue. We need to create our templates. We need to define template. Actually, again, as you can see, we need to create the instance from Jinja2 template. For template, I will do that. Templates, just Jinja2 templates, and should be directory. We need to define a directory name that we have created. I name it templates, then again templates, I choose this name. And the second, for a static file, I want to create an instance from static files, and just I can say app.mount. Okay, should be static. You are allowed to choose another name that you want but I choose the name that I have already created from here, static, and I choose a static and templates. That should be the same name that you have here. And the next is the static files, and from here we need a directory again. Should be static. The name of our directory is actually, and the next steps, the name, that should be static as well. Okay, looks good, but I have, sorry, here. Now it looks better. Okay, now it's better. Okay, the next step is from app. We are going to create our first before we create a post request. We need to get a post get request that we open our index.html, and that the first I say app dot get, and for example, for which URL path, that should be our start, our just localhost path, and just for response, response class should be HTML response, as you can see that we have already created. And now let's continue. Just create our first method, and I can say asynchronous def, for example, home, and you are allowed to choose the name that you want to request. That should be our variable from request class. Request class. Okay, now we have that request. Okay, great. Don't worry about this error. Actually, the warning is not error because it's not defined, and it's not matter. Just return from templates that we have created template response. What we want to from template response is refer to this template folder, and we want to say from templates open index.html, of course, and again, for example, here we can say request that we have already created. Request should be equals to request variable that we have already created. And the next step is to run our project for first time. We need to open it. I just want to say if name equals main, that is the defined method to run our project. And from here I just want to import UV core. Now the next step is to call our main class UV core dot run, of course. We need to say the name of this folder is the main file, should be main, and instance of FastAPI class at this time is app, and we say app. Need to define a host for our project should be localhost and define a port, for example 800,000, and reload I want to have true. That means should be reload the project after any change. Okay, now let's do test main.py. Okay, as you can see we have error here because that says request is not defined. Okay, now we can see sorry, FastAPI request I need at this time. Okay, now I open our project. As you can see we are get our index.html grammar checker, and if I open docs that should be run it as well, and we can get this grammar checker as a response. As you can see we want to have a response as HTML response. If you don't want to have a response as a HTML file, if you want to use a template or any HTML file, you don't need to use HTML response. Okay, the next step after get this page, this web app or this index page, we need to send a request. That means we want to send a request to ChatGPT to actually just easy to check our text to just check our input and give a right response or output. Okay, again app dot post, again is the same page in the same URL. I want to send a response to send a post, and okay, I'm going to create asynchronize again method def, for example, ask, I name it for example ask question. Okay, again request equals to request response. Okay, request, and okay, what we need to post at the first, we need to create a request post request, and then we need to create a questions. I name it questions or two questions. For example, I name it question. Okay, should be str. We get it from HTML file for 1, 2, 3, and okay, we need to add a form for. Okay, looks better. That should be our method. Now you're starting to try. Always try to use try catch. That should you have a save program, save method response. Okay, that should be our response equals client. Client is, as you can see, is instance from OpenAI client dot chat. That should be our communication dot completion define a model. Actually at this time we decision for the right model for our project. As you can see here, there are too many models with too many input, output, limited and price. I try to choose just one cheaper model for this project. Okay, model that should be here, something like that. Okay, as you can see, response client instance from OpenAI. We want to have a chat and define just easy the model. The next step is the message. This should be response the messages that you can find in documentation from ChatGPT. And if we open it, okay, now documentation, that should be models that we have already said about model, and should quote actually a small description about this model again. And if I open this simple example, as you can see, you're going to create a response, and that should be the right documentation. Is the same from here, client that chat, and define model and message. And the message, you're allowed to define what you want to do, or who can what to do. And should you are two different role, user system, as you can see, assistant as well, is depend to your project that you can define. Actually, I recommend you, actually it's depend to your project or depend to your company or you want to do, you are allowed to define this permission. Okay, now I need, for example, user. I can copy this message because at this time just user should be able to make a response, make a request. Okay, and now I can just easily say, sorry, I have a new keyboard. Okay, now it looks better. And the next step is to define a token. What does it mean and what is token? You need to after here one okay. You need to define a token, and I will show you what's token and max token. That means you need to pay for any token. Yes. You need to define what's the max token for this project, and you can see from here pricings. At the first you need to know you have limited per day or per month, and the next step, for 1 million token, for example, you need to pay €5, and output should be for 1 million token about 50 euro. And then you are allowed to define output token. That means you can say yes, the user allowed to copy 100 line or 1 line, or actually any word is about 1 token. I can define, for example, as default 50, and I think that should be enough for just simple corrector. And the next step, actually I don't need to close this response from here, but I need to close it from here. We can paste it here as well. Actually, should be more readable. And the next step, okay. The next step is too important to know. As a contact, you are allowed to define the question is coming from user input. Yeah, and from here you can say you are to define, for example, correct the text that is coming. Is the text is coming before questions that is coming from index.html, that user input. That means I can say correct the grammar of the following text, and just following text is coming okay from here, just from here, from questions. Okay, that means user type the questions or write what he want to correct, and before this text I can define a static text, correct the grammar of the frame, or you can change the text to uppercase, or I don't know, solve the mathematic, or you can, because we want to do that the user don't do something else as a grammar checker. We want just to make a project or make an app that check the grammar. Okay, the next from here, from answer, just response that response dot choices that is coming from our array, or sorry, choices, not this. Okay, choose 0 from message method that we have already created. We want to choose the role one, and we say, hey, choose that from messages, for example, or just message dot content. Okay, and the next we want to return the template, return this response that we get from this response. Actually, that should be return response. We can return this response in this array that we have created inside answer, and just we can say the same way from here. We can say return template inside index request. Okay, at this time we need to return request, of course, and we need to return question as well. We can do that. Okay, question about questions. Okay, and what we need is, and of course, answer that we have created. That should be our method. Okay. Okay, and always we can get answer from here as well. Actually, if oh sorry, at this time we don't have any answer, I define it to none as a default. Okay, and the next step looks good, and exception as error. We want to say if you don't find any answer, return from here. Just easy for us to return answer, and as a response, as an answer, report return just error from e instance. And then after all, now looks good, we have our method. And the next step is too important to get questions str form. We are coming back here, and I just want to, as you can see, we have questions, and it's important to have a text field as the same name questions that get it automatically from index. I don't want to write one-to-one this code, this template. I can copy paste, and as you can see, if answer is not known, we have here text area. The name of text area is questions. And this is too important that you need to know. You need to use a correct name, and you call this name from here, and you can use it. And the next step, from here we need a form method. From action we can send a post method, post request, and get automatically this this name that should be required. Don't allow me to null or empty. And from bottom submit, we make a submit, and here is the answer. That means at the effort we make a response, we make a request, and we get this answer as a default is none when we open for first time. To get this index.html, that should be none. And after we make a response, submit any form, we get this answer as a right answer or as an error. And then you can check if answer is not known, then original text, the questions, show our questions, correct text, show the response answer. Okay, let's come back and check it. And now, as you can see, we have it. And now the next, what we need to do, I just want to say how, for example, are you today? Okay, error completion object is not callable. Okay, we are coming back, we have some error, and if you ask how we get background, I define a background from here. Okay, but from here actually I didn't define any background color. That was from the last project. But how can it work here? I don't know. Let me again check. Okay, now at the first, let's solve this problem. From here, error completion object is not callable. Now let's come back. Well, I cannot understand how I can find this image path. I have just say pg.background. How I can find this background inside this project? Okay, it's not important. Actually, it's important, but I don't have anything to say. Now it looks better. Okay, come back. We can say what's wrong here. And okay, now as you can see, we have requests, questions that is coming from user. Okay, from here, client, chat, compression dot create. Sorry, I forgot to write this. Okay, again, how are you today? Okay, we have some other error. Max token argument, keyword max token. Okay, what's wrong here? Max token. Token. If we are coming back, token. Response. I can see it from here. Oh, sorry, it's not token, it's tokens. Is S at the end. Okay, now I come back, copy these tags again. Okay, yeah, as you can see, it's for correctly type your tags. Original tags were how are you today and how are you today. Or for example, what is your name? Now I can what's your name or what's your name. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and should be helpful for you. And if you have a question, you can write in comment. And in future, I will work. Actually, as a day, I'm working at this time more with AI, ChatGPT, or another communication API request between just Python or Django or some other NGet or just end device like iOS or Android. If I have a time, I will show you step by step more about image, audio, or how you can make a sinful website with AI and how you can earn money, or it's just should be for your hobby or something else. What do you need to know at this time? I will create more video about AI, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a nice day.